Good morning and welcome to Northern Light Spiritual Center. Northern Light Spiritual Center is a community of people dedicated to using spiritual and practical principles to create lives we want to live. Northern Light Spiritual Center offers practical and spiritual tools to make positive changes in our lives. And we promise to inspire, uplift, celebrate, and magnify your greatness. We acknowledge our presence here on the traditional and unceded lands and waters of the first people of Seattle, the Duwamish and coastal Salish peoples. These people are still here, and we join with them in how they continue to honor and bring to light their ancient heritage. We seek to resist the erasure of Indigenous histories as we work towards honoring and inviting the truth. We must acknowledge that much of what we know in this country today, including its culture, economic growth, and development throughout history and across time, has been made possible by the labor of enslaved Africans and their ascendants who suffered the horror of transatlantic trafficking of their people, chattel slavery, and Jim Crow. We also name the Asian and Chicano people who toiled with little recognition or acknowledgement. We are indebted to their labor and their sacrifice, and we must acknowledge the tremors of that violence throughout the generations and the resulting impact that can still be felt and witnessed today. Please join me for our opening song, In This Very Room, by Ron and Carol Harris. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough peace and quite enough power to walk through our every fear. Holy Spirit, sweet Spirit, is in this very room. In this very room. So to prepare for this morning's meditation, I'm going to invite us to just settle into wherever it is that we're sitting. Pay attention to the support of the chair. Pay attention if our feet are on the floor. That we are not on the floor. That we are lifted up. And that in spite of gravity, we are able to hold ourselves upright. And in this upright posture, just become aware of our breath. If it helps, you might want to place your hands on your belly and feel the shift with the breath in and the breath out. Do you notice a rise and fall in the chest? And with the rise and fall of breath in the chest, I want us to consider the rise and fall of rights and responsibilities in our lives. when we were very little, before we can even remember, all of our needs were attended to by somebody else. And over time, we learned things that we now do without thinking. We learned to sit up. We learned to talk. We learned to walk. And with these increased capabilities, there were more things that we could do. There were more things that we wanted to do. So while we may not remember wanting to learn to walk or wanting to learn to talk, I ask us to put our attention on something that we remember ourselves wanting to learn to do. Was there a particular game we wanted to learn how to play? Was there a particular book we wanted to learn to read? Was there a particular story we wanted to be able to retell? Was there a particular person we wanted to play with? A particular piece of clothing or outfit that we wanted to wear? Just allow ourselves to imagine those acquisitions. In those memories, was there ever an outfit that we put on that our parents reacted to and it was just too much? Did we ever speak of a desire to a friend and instead of them welcoming it, they expressed shock or confusion? We might have thought, we might have imagined that we would automatically receive their support around this choice. And to our surprise, that support did not come. And if that unsettles us, just allow ourselves to remember how we responded when we were unsettled. Did we back away? Or did we push in? And with gentle, loving kindness, simply acknowledge how it is that we moved through those experiences. If we backed away, did we learn another way around? We couldn't go through the wall or over the wall. Did we learn to go around the wall? Did we learn to dig and go under the wall? Did we continue to lift up what it was that made us more alive? Or did we let it go? If we held on, how has that shaped who we are today? If we let go, how did that shape how we are today? And with life continuing to breathe us, this breath in and this breath out, just allow a sense of gratitude to enter into our bodies. Allow that previously mentioned notion and expression and feeling of loving kindness to return. Just pay attention. Does loving kindness have any particular shape or feel? Is it warm? Is it cool? Is it light and lifting? Or is it settling and making us feel closer to the planet? Just pay attention to our reaction to that sense of loving kindness. Let it fill the heart. And imagine the heart beat, sending that loving kindness through the entire body. Sending it through our entire identities. Imagine that loving kindness reaching from the tip of our toes out through the crown of our head, radiating out through our fingers, that loving kindness that is simply a yes to who and what each of us are. And as that loving kindness radiates out, how that sense of self-love, how that sense of self-acceptance influences everyone and everything that we encounter. So when we love ourselves, do we love the space in which we find ourselves? Do we press ourselves into that space in a different way? What if that loving kindness that we hold for ourselves shapes the very places we go, the people that we encounter? What if we don't have words for it, but we have a sense of it? Let that wordless sense fill us. Not everything has to have words. It's the song the Beatles did. Speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be. So as we let it be, let it rest upon us. Let us become aware again of the chair supporting us, of the ground underneath our feet. Let us return to that sense of thanksgiving and know that that loving kindness is as close as our breath. So as we are ready, allow ourselves to come back to the rooms wherever we are. Open our eyes and see the space through the vision of that sense of loving kindness. And I say, Amen.
Amen.
Ashe.
Ashe.
And so it is.
So it is.
Today's reading is a little different. It's just a short reading, and it comes from someone called Dave Bonhart. And I think you'll understand pretty quickly why I'm reading this. The unborn are a convenient group of people to advocate for. They never make demands on you. They are morally uncomplicated. Unlike the incarcerated, addicted, or chronically poor, they don't resent your condescension or complain that you are not politically correct. Unlike widows, they don't ask you to question the patriarchy. Unlike orphans, they don't need money, education, or childcare. Unlike aliens, they don't bring all that racial, cultural, and religious baggage that you dislike. They allow you to feel so good about yourself with any work at creating or maintaining relationships. And when they are born, oh, you can forget about them because they cease to be the unborn. It's almost as if by being born, they have died to you. You can love the unborn and advocate them without ever substantially changing your own wealth, power, or privilege, with never needing to reimagine social structures, without need to apologize to anyone. They are, in short, the perfect people to love. If you want to claim that you love the divine, but actually dislike people who breathe, prisoners, immigrants, the sick, the poor, orphans, all the groups that are specifically mentioned in the Torah and the Bible, they all get thrown under the bus for the unborn. And so it is.
So it is.
So this is the final week of the June chant, which is looking at the body. The fingers and toes that got counted. The wow each time I have sex. The lingering light from the sunsets, the feel of my heartbeat and breath. I live in my body this wonderland. I love with my body this wonderland. I give through my body this wonderland. I thrive as my body this wonderland. Right here, right now. Yes, right here, right now. Second verse, I think you all know, it's now the U verse. The fingers and toes that got counted. The wow each time you have sex. The lingering light from the sunsets. The feel of your heartbeat and breath. You live in your body this wonderland. You love with your body this wonderland. You give through your body this wonderland. You thrive as your body, this wonderland. Right here, right now. Yes, right here, right now. Now we switch it up to we. The fingers and toes that got counted. The wow each time we have sex. The lingering light from the sunsets. The feel of our heartbeat and breath. We live in our body this wonderland. We love with our body this wonderland. We give through our body this wonderland. We thrive as our body this wonderland. Right here, right now. Yes, right here, right now. And back to the eye, and really feel it this time. The fingers and toes that got counted. The wow each time I have sex. The lingering light light from the sunsets, the feel of my heartbeat and breath. I live in my body this wonderland. I love with my body this wonderland. I give through my body this wonderland. I thrive as my body this wonderland. Right here, right now. Yes, right here, right now. Good morning. Before I play the song, I just want to invite you to take in the meaning and the words of the song that's called You Matter.
We are last Sunday of June. It's what we call in Seattle here Pride Sunday. It's been this talk today originally wasn't going to be the way it turned out, which a lot of times that's what happens when you think a talk is going to go a certain way, and you've done some thinking and pondering of it, and then stuff happens in the world which actually causes you to shift what you want or need to share, to say. And I imagine in many churches and places of worship today there is great celebration. But not for me, and not for a lot of other centers for spiritual living, because today is a day of, I want to say, mourning. And it appears that the line of separation of church and state has been seriously crossed. And it's like we can't speak of political things or, things that have to do with government. But now it feels that we must. That we must stand up and fight, basically. Got an exercise here that has been handed down and then kind of rewritten. It was handed down by Dr. Reverend David Alexander of the Atlanta Center for Spiritual Living. And then Reverend Abigail Shear from Center for Spiritual Living added a couple things to it. So I'm going to put it up on the screen. Ah, it is. Oh, never mind. I hit the wrong button. There. Okay. First we gotta go on the wrong. So in this first exercise, first part of the exercise, the men are going to be speaking to the women. And those who care to participate can, and those that wish to sit aside, they can also do that. It's your choice. So please turn to a woman near you and make eye contact and open your hands toward the women near you and repeat after me. I see you.
I see you.
I hear you.
I hear you.
Your voice matters.
Your voice matters.
I see you.
I see you.
I hear you.
I hear you.
Your voice matters.
Your voice matters.
Beloved women, I cannot know and do not know what it is to walk your walk. I do not know what it is to live your experience. I do not know what it is to be shunned, quieted, dismissed, disqualified, or ignored. I do not know what it is to routinely not have my story believed. While I do not know what it is to have these experiences. I do know that I can take responsibility right here and right now to create a safe place in the spiritual community and say to you clearly and directly, I see you, I hear you, your voice matters. And now shifting, seeing it is Pride Month. Interesting because we have no straight people in this room right now. So I will read this, and who wants to share can share. If you are near somebody that is of the LGBTQ plus community, face them and repeat after me. I see you.
I see you.
I hear you.
I hear you.
Your voice matters to me.
Your voice matters to me.
I see you.
I see you.
I hear you.
I hear you.
Your voice matters to me.
Your voice matters to me.
Beloved lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, gender fluid, queer questioning, intersex, pansexual, two-spirited, and androgynous, and asexual family. I do know, and I do know what it is to walk your walk. I do know what it is to live your experience. I do know what it is to be shunned, quieted, diminished, disqualified, or ignored. I do know what it is to routinely not have my story believed. While I do not quite know, while I do know what it is to have these experiences, I do know that I can take responsibility right here and right now to create a safe place in this spiritual community and say to you clearly and directly, I see you, I hear you, and your voice matters to me. And now we've also included the BIPOC family. So if you're of a white persuasion and you're near a person of the BIPOC family, please direct this to them. I see you.
I see you.
I hear you.
I hear you.
Your voice matters
Your voice matters
to me.
to me.
I see you.
I see you.
I hear you.
I hear you.
Your voice matters to me.
Your voice matters to me.
Beloved Black, Indigenous, and people of color family. Excuse me. I cannot know and do not know what it is to walk your walk. I do not know what it is to live your experience. I do not know what it is to be shunned, quieted, diminished, disqualified, or ignored. I do not know what it is to routinely not have my story believed. I cannot know and do not know what it is to walk your walk. I do not know what it is to live your experience. While I do not know what it is to have these experiences, I do know what I can take responsibility, that I can take responsibility right here and right now to create a safe place in the spiritual community and say to you clearly and directly, I see you,
I see you,
I hear you,
I hear you,
and your voice matters.
your voice matters.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Oprah Winfrey said, the more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate. When you are living the best version of yourself, you inspire others to live the best versions of themselves. That's by Steve Maraboli. Part of it today, I want to celebrate who you are. And I want each and every one of you to celebrate that person that you have come here to be. When you look at yourself, what do you see? Do you criticize or judge what you see? Or do you compare yourself with others? What we should see is the perfect divine expression looking back at us. And we need to embrace these parts of us, these what we might call blemishes, or flaws, or things that we think are wrong with us, because they are part of us. I wish I didn't have to wear glasses, you know? I wish I wasn't as old as I am. Or do we see things that other people say are wrong with us? Because believe me, other people will say that there's something wrong with us. That you're not the right color, you're not the right sex, you're not the right sexual orientation, you're not the right religion, you're not what we think you should be. There's a lot of that going around. A hell of a lot of it. We came to this country from England to start a free, to be free from that. To be free from the forces of religion and what is happening now. We allow others to dictate. And we take it. We take it in. We accept that. We don't have to accept that. That's their opinion. And in turn, we just might do a little bit of judging and criticizing ourselves. I don't know. I can't say about anybody else, but I know I am prone to do that time to time. And so we don't have to allow people, take in what we think people think is wrong with us. We need to stand, we need to be proud of who we are, of who we came to this earth to be. Sometimes I wonder, why am I here? And I question, what is my purpose? What is my reason to be walking this earth? Why have I lived this long when periods of my life I abused this body? And so many people I know are not here anymore for the same reason, for abusing their body. We're all here for a purpose. We're all here for a reason. We're not here to judge or be judged. To me, we're here to love and to learn how to love. And it's not the one night stand love or whatever. It's that divine love, the love that comes from deep within. The love that you and I were born in, that we were created in. That love that flows through us and out to others. I wanted to read part of this, something I read today. It was from Reverend Patrick Creelman from the Center for Spiritual Living. He had written a long prayer for pride, and this is just part of it. And it goes on to say, may we all live a prideful life. A life that is full of pride in full, gracious acceptance of all that we are. May we bless one another with our living and with our words, whether spoken, whispered, text, typed, or held back. May they all be a blessing. May we speak a word of kindness and upliftment for one another today. And I want to say in all days. May our actions follow the path laid before us by our words, and may the words we hear in return reflect the ultimate truth that lay beyond vocabulary. That we are loved simply and purely because we exist. Let us have more love than pride, and let us all be proud in the personhood, proud in our living, and proud in our loving. I love what part of it where it says, the ultimate truth that lay beyond vocabulary. Because actions speak a lot louder than words. Yes, words can hurt, words can help, but action sometimes does speak louder than words, because sometimes words get in the way. I know sometimes I want to say something and I'm just like a babbling idiot because what comes out is not what I intended, or I may have phrased it the wrong way. So words a lot of times get in our way. And I've shared this before. The one experience I had that was it was fascinating. When I took this walk around Green Lake, this walking meditation, and I went there with one purpose, and that was not to speak to anyone, but to make eye contact with as many people as I could while walking. And it revealed a lot, because you don't have to speak. People can read you. When you meet eye contact, yes, some would look away because, one thing, they're not used to that. Others, would just, nod or whatever. And others just, would light up. Because when you do that, it's the divine looking at the eyes of the divine. And you're looking deeper than any words can actually say. And so I invite you just to try that sometime. Just wherever, just make eye contact. Maybe conversation will follow, but it's that connection. I see you. I hear you. You matter. Just think of what this world could be if everybody realized that every other person matters. We may not agree with them. We may not even like them. And that there's no law that says that we have to like them. But on a deeper level, there is a love, that connected love. I know we've discussed this before, and it's very hard sometimes to have that love for someone who is well, like a bully, somebody that's being mean, or just, I hate to say it, no, it's evil. Yeah, I mean, there's a type of evil sometimes that people act. It's their actions. We live in a world where, as Reverend Vaughn read in that reading, where you matter. The child matters if they're in the womb. But they sure as hell don't matter once they exit the womb. And that's not by all people. That's by a large group. They say pro-life. It's not pro-life, it's pro-birth. And that's where we need to step up and step forward and support those that need our help, those that want our help. We are what the world has been waiting for. Any challenges we've ever faced in our lives have prepared us for this moment. Because every step we have taken is in preparation to right now. And now is the time to commit to showing up authentically and choose to live the life we've always dreamed. The more of us that choose to live authentically, the more we inspire others to do the same. The more we live authentically. Because we do inspire people. People are inspired by others, by their actions, whether it's good or whether it's not so good. When we show unconditional love and acceptance to others, we are serving by example. If we want to see more unity, peace, and joy in the world, we must commit to experiencing these qualities in our own lives. Like that old saying, we have to sweep our doorstep or whatever it is before we go to somebody else's. So we need to be proud of who you are. Proud of what you have done in this life, who you have inspired, who has inspired you to be proud. For I believe that every person deserves a seat at the table. And to offer up what they bring. And to be heard. To be heard. I know once I was slightly criticized for being fair, thought of being fair-minded or whatever. I believe I was misunderstood, but someone may have an idea or want to do something. And it might be what you might say is a crazy idea or something. But that person at least deserves the right to be heard about it. You may not act on it or whatever, but you deserve to be heard. We all deserve that. We all deserve to be on this planet, to walk freely and bravely and proud. So in closing, I just want to say, live your life to the fullest and take pride of who you are and who you are becoming. So with that, I know that there is only one life. That life surrounds us, that life lives in and around and through and as us. And I call that life God. I call it God right here, right now. And knowing that this one divine presence lives and breathes and acts through us. I know that this divine is love, is peace, is joy, is harmony, and so much more. And knowing that, I know that each one of us possess that divine love, that joy, that peace, that harmony. And we, each one of us, are so much more. In that I declare, as we walk and move through our life, that we stand up, we stand tall, we stand proud of the life that we are and the life that we live. For we are the divine expressing here on this earth. And I give thanks. I give thanks for that divine presence. I give thanks for the love, the life, the peace, the joy, the harmony, the existence of each and every person. And I release this into the automatic action of the law without question, without judgment. For the law knows exactly what it needs to do and what is good for each and every one of us. So I release, I let it go, and I let it be. And so it is.
So it is.
So we'll be back here next week. Reverend Vaughn will be speaking.